Ever get stuck in one of those conversations that feels like a wrestling match?
Yeah.
Somebody's pushing and you're resisting and nobody's really getting anywhere.
Ugh, yeah, those are the worst.
Well, today we're going to learn how to win those matches.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
Get ready to unlock the secrets of psychological Aikido.
Psychological Aikido.
It's a fascinating concept
Okay,
based on the work of this guy, Mikhail Litvak.
okay,
And we're going to be using a summary
okay.
from this learning platform called Bookie
Interesting.
as our guide today.
I'm intrigued.
So instead of meeting force with force like in a regular judo match,
Mm-hmm.
psychological Aikido is about kind of redirecting that energy from your opponent to reach a more harmonious outcome.
Okay, I like that.
So it's like mental martial arts.
Interesting.
By the end of this deep dive,
Okay.
you'll have some brand new
All
tools
right.
for navigating those tricky situations and maybe even turning those conflicts into opportunities to grow.
That's what I like to hear, an opportunity for growth. So tell me more about this Litvak guy. What's so special about his approach?
Well, he's not about manipulation or winning at all costs.
Okay.
He's really about transforming those tense moments
Uh-huh.
into chances to learn, understand, and create respectful interactions.
So less about scoring points and more about genuine connection.
Exactly.
I like it.
And there are some specific techniques
Ooh, techniques. I love techniques.
that you can use to put this philosophy into action.
Give me those techniques.
Well, one that really surprised me was the idea of agreeing with the truth,
Agreeing with the truth.
even when it's coming from somebody who's challenging you.
Now, why would I agree with someone who's like, criticizing me or trying to pick a fight?
Because it disarms them.
Disarms them.
It takes the wind out of their sails.
Interesting.
Let's say someone's critiquing your presentation
Okay.
and they say, hey, that one slide is way too cluttered.
Yeah, too much going on.
Instead of getting all defensive,
Uh-huh.
you acknowledge their point.
Ow.
You're right, that slide is a bit busy.
So I take away their power by admitting they have a point.
You're meeting them halfway,
Okay.
finding that little piece of common ground,
Uh-huh.
and then you can open up a more productive dialogue.
Oh, so it's like we're shifting the energy
Exa-
from confrontation to collaboration.
Yeah.
I like it.
Another crucial technique is truly empathetic listening.
Empathetic listening.
And I mean, really going beyond just hearing the words.
Okay, so what does that look like?
It's easier said than done.
Yeah, especially when you're in the middle of a, heated debate.
You have to be fully present,
Uh-huh.
absorbing not just what they're saying, but how they're saying it.
The feeling behind the words.
Yes. And when you respond in a way that shows that you've truly heard them,
Okay.
it can diffuse the tension and start to build some trust.
So it's like I'm saying, I see you, I hear you, I get where you're coming from, even if I don't agree with everything.
That's it. That validation can be powerful. Now, there's another technique that Litvak calls deflection.
Deflection.
And I find this one particularly clever.
Okay, what is it?
It's about redirecting the force of that conflict instead of meeting it head on.
Like a verbal judo move.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like using your opponent's momentum against them.
Mhm.
Let's say you have a colleague
Okay.
and they're constantly complaining about a new company policy.
Yeah, we all know that person.
Instead of getting drawn into their negativity,
Oh.
you gently deflect
Oh.
by saying something like, I understand your frustration, but have you seen how this new policy has actually streamlined the approval process for certain projects?
Oh, so I'm acknowledging their feelings, but I'm shifting the focus to something more productive.
Yes, you're guiding the conversation in a different direction.
I like it.
But what happens when you're facing someone who's really aggressive?
Oh, yeah. Good point.
Like they're really trying to dominate the interaction.
Right.
Is there a technique for that?
There is.
Oh, there is.
It's called able vulnerability.
Able vulnerability. So it's this idea of strategically revealing a vulnerability in a way that evokes empathy and reduces aggression.
Okay. I'm a little skeptical.
Yeah.
How do you show vulnerability without seeming weak?
It's about being authentic,
Okay.
not calculating. It has to come from a genuine place.
Okay.
Litvak suggests that by revealing a relevant vulnerability,
Okay.
you create a connection that disarms that other person's aggression.
I see.
It's like you're saying, look, we're all human here. We all have our struggles.
It reminds me of that saying, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yes, exactly.
So you're humanizing yourself and the situation.
Right. And just like in martial arts,
Mm-hmm.
mastering these techniques takes more than just knowing the moves.
You need inner strength, too.
Yes, resilience, confidence.
That ability to stay grounded, even in challenging situations.
So we're talking about building that mental toughness.
Yes. How do you do that?
Self-awareness is crucial.
Right. Understanding your triggers, your strengths and weaknesses.
So knowing yourself is key.
Yes, and self-confidence goes hand in hand with that. You need to believe in your ability to handle these situations.
Right. If you doubt yourself, then these techniques aren't going to work as well.
Exactly. And Litvak actually recommends things like role-playing,
Role playing.
where you practice handling different scenarios in a safe environment.
I like that idea.
You know, it's like mental rehearsal for real-life conflict.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And he also suggests keeping what he calls an emotion diary.
An emotion diary.
Uh-huh.
What is that?
You just take a few moments to jot down the situation, the emotions you felt, your response.
So you can start to see patterns in how you react to certain triggers or people.
Exactly. And that awareness allows you to choose more constructive responses in the future.
So I'm becoming a scientist of my own emotions.
You got it.
Observing, analyzing, using that knowledge to make better choices.
Right.
I like that.
The more you understand your own emotional landscape,
The better you'll be able to navigate those emotional landscapes of other people.
so we've got the mindset, we've got the techniques, we've got the inner strength.
We're ready.
But how does this all play out in real life?
Good question.
I need some examples.
Well, hold on to your hats because that's exactly where we're headed next.
All right. I'm ready when you are.
Let's do it.
Okay, so give me some real-world scenarios.
Let's paint some pictures.
All right.
Remember the technique of staying calm and redirecting.
Yeah.
When dealing with manipulative behavior,
Uh-huh.
let's say you have that coworker who's always trying to get you to do their work,
Oh, yeah, I know that type.
the master manipulator,
They're always guilt-tripping.
playing the victim
Yes.
instead of getting sucked in.
Right.
You can use psychological Aikido
Okay.
to set some boundaries.
I like it.
You might say something like, I understand you're swamped, but I'm also working on a tight deadline. Maybe we could talk to the manager about prioritizing tasks.
So you're not being rude.
You're just setting your limits.
Exactly. You're redirecting the energy
Go.
towards a solution.
I see.
How about when someone's being super aggressive?
Okay.
Remember we talked about using empathy and validation?
Yeah.
Let's say you have a family member
Okay.
who just blows up over little things.
Like what kind of things?
Dinner's not ready on time.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of meeting that anger with anger,
Okay.
try this. I can see you're really frustrated.
Yeah.
It's important to you that we eat together at a certain time, and I understand that.
So you're acknowledging their feelings
Yes.
without agreeing with their behavior.
Exactly. You're validating their experience.
So it's like you're showing them a calmer way to respond.
Right. You're modeling that.
I like that.
Now, what about those bigger confrontations?
Yeah, the ones that seem to happen everywhere,
With a coworker or a neighbor?
even a stranger in traffic.
What's the key there?
Well, I'm guessing it's about keeping your cool and seeing the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Instead of getting caught up in the immediate conflict,
Yes.
you look for that common ground.
Exactly. Litvak really emphasizes seeking clarity.
Clarity.
What are the real issues?
Okay.
What are the different perspectives?
So often we're reacting to our assumptions.
Right. Not the facts.
So we need to take a step back
Breathe.
and ask those clarifying questions.
Like, what's really going on here? What are we both trying to achieve?
I like that.
And sometimes the most powerful move is silence. In the heat of the moment.
Okay.
Just pause.
So everyone can calm down.
Gather their thought.
I've definitely said things I regret
Oh, yeah, me too.
when I'm upset.
Silence can be a game changer.
Right.
Another technique is reframing.
Reframing.
Remember we touched on that earlier?
Okay.
Choosing to see the situation in a new light.
Give me an example.
Let's say you're stressed about a project at work.
Okay.
It's not going as planned. Instead of seeing it as a threat or a failure,
Okay.
you reframe it. It's an opportunity to learn new skills, collaborate better with your team,
Okay.
develop resilience.
You're finding the growth,
Exactly.
even in the challenge.
Remember, psychological Aikido is not just about handling difficult people.
It's about improving relationships.
Exactly, especially in your personal life.
Okay, how does that work?
Approach your loved ones with
Okay.
that same empathy,
Okay.
that understanding.
But they're a challenging opponent.
Exactly. You're building a foundation of respect and cooperation.
Less drama, more connection.
You got it.
So how do we do that?
Active listening
Okay.
and reflective communication.
What makes those so powerful?
Think about a time you felt truly seen and heard.
Okay.
not just listened to.
But understood.
Yes, that's active listening.
Okay.
Giving your loved ones your full attention
Tuning in.
to their words, their emotions, their body language.
So I'm saying you matter to me. Your thoughts and feelings are important.
And when you pair that with reflective communication,
Goes even deeper.
you're mirroring back what you heard,
Okay.
reflecting those emotions.
So I might say something like, it sounds like you're feeling really hurt because
I understand that you're frustrated about this because,
you're really engaged.
yes, trying to understand their world.
That creates a safe space
For vulnerability?
and sharing.
Right. And when you combine these communication skills
Okay.
with the other techniques,
The agreeing with the truth, the deflecting,
table vulnerability, you're creating a whole new language for your relationship.
the language of respect and connection.
And we've talked about how psychological Aikido can be a secret weapon at work, too.
Yeah, for conflict resolution, team dynamics, leadership.
That deserves its own deep dive.
All right, let's explore that. So let's talk about how we can apply all this in the workplace.
Okay.
Work can be so stressful and full of conflict.
Oh, yeah, those office dynamics.
Right, so how can this psychological Aikido help?
It can be truly transformative.
Okay.
Just imagine. Disagreements are handled constructively,
Okay.
teams are unified, and leaders inspired.
Instead of just bossing people around,
Right.
that sounds amazing.
It does.
But is it really realistic?
It might sound counterintuitive,
Okay.
but the same principles
Yeah.
that strengthen our personal relationships,
Okay.
they can revolutionize our work lives too.
So empathy, respect, communication,
All of that.
they're not just like nice to haves
No, they're essential.
for a healthy work environment.
You got it.
It's about bringing our whole selves to work
Yes.
with all those human qualities.
And it starts with recognizing
Okay.
how often conflicts escalate.
Oh, I know.
We get defensive. We dig in our heels.
And nothing gets solved.
Right? Relationships are damaged. Productivity suffers.
I've been in so many meetings where everyone's talking but no one's listening.
Just tension.
Yeah.
But imagine approaching those situations
Okay.
with psychological Aikido.
So instead of trying to win the argument, you acknowledge valid points.
Find solutions that work for everybody.
It's a shift
For me versus you.
to we're in this together.
I like that.
How does that play out?
Yeah, give me an example.
Let's say there's a disagreement
Okay.
about resources for a new project. Each team is defending their turf,
Right.
but then a leader stepped in
Okay.
and uses psychological Aikido.
So they listen to each team's concerns,
Find common ground.
guide the discussion toward a win-win.
Exactly. The leader becomes a facilitator,
I like that.
using Aikido to reach a shared goal.
And that can really change team dynamics.
People feel heard and respected. They're more engaged,
More motivated.
invested in the team's success,
It creates a sense of safety.
where people can share ideas,
Take risks.
even admit mistakes.
That's where innovation comes from.
It's not just about avoiding conflict,
But using it as an opportunity,
to learn and grow together.
like a wolf pack.
Yes, the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack.
Now let's zoom in on leadership.
Okay.
A leader who uses psychological Aikido can create a completely different culture.
Not about power or authority.
It's about trust.
Empowering others.
Exactly. So instead of barking orders,
And micromanaging,
right, they coach, they mentor, they guide.
that's a big shift from the traditional boss.
It is.
But it's so much more effective.
When people feel valued,
Yeah.
they go above and beyond.
They're more creative, more productive.
They take ownership of their work.
It's amazing how these ideas
Yeah.
can change a whole workplace.
And remember,
Okay.
it's a journey.
Not a destination.
Mastering psychological Aikido takes time and effort.
So it's not like I go to a weekend seminar
No.
and suddenly I'm a master.
It's a practice.
Consistent effort, self-reflection,
Always learning and growing.
but the rewards are worth it.
For you and everyone around you.
So what's the one thing we want our listeners to take away from this deep dive?
It's not just a set of techniques. Okay.
It's a philosophy.
A way of being.
Approaching challenges with grace and resilience.
And a commitment to understanding.
Choosing to respond.
Not react.
Connect conflict
Seeing those difficult moments.
as opportunities for growth.
Beautifully said.
And we need to put this into practice.
Start small, experiment. Be patient.
Watch those small changes
Make a big difference.
in all areas of your life,
It's about making conscious choices,
one interaction at a time,
creating a more harmonious experience.
for ourselves and everyone around us.
So as you navigate the challenges in your life,
Yeah?
may you find the strength and wisdom.
To turn those challenges into opportunities.
Thank you for joining us.
On this deep dive into psychological Aikido.
We hope you found it insightful.
And inspiring.
Keep practicing, keep learning.
And keep those conversations flowing.